All right, guys. Welcome. Welcome in. Week 8 pregame show is now live. And I don't know why this is covered up again. I would like to be able to see that. Let's see if I can fix this real quick. Let's see. I really hope. Good afternoon on this week 8 of football. I'm excited. I am very excited for football today, even though the Dolphins are probably going to lose. But we'll get into that. We will get into that. How's everyone's day going so far? We're gonna talk ball. We're gonna talk a little football. We're gonna talk about every game. But yeah, let's get into it. What's the final score? Well, I predicted 24-10 Falcons, but as of not too long ago, Drake London got rolled out. I don't know if that's going to make that big of a difference. Go Dolphins. It's going to be a fun one today. I was looking at Mooney's yards like probably an hour ago. And right after that, Drake London gets rolled out. And I was like, Darnell Mooney's really something. And don't sleep on Rasul Douglas. He's a good corner. So I think that, as long as Bijan Robinson's still on the field, it's going to be tough. But let's get into it. Let's talk about some of the games that are going to go on today. Of course, we have number one. Let's go back to this real quick. Of course, we have whatchamacallit, the Dolphins game. I have to get rid of this, though, because I'm a little afraid that some inappropriate ad might pop up and I might get banned on YouTube. So we're going to get rid of that. I do have it on my second screen, so I'll keep up with the live count. But let's talk a little bit about the Dolphins game. 34-14 Falcons. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a good one. I really don't. I don't think so. I think it's going to be really unfortunate for the Dolphins this week. I think that this is going to be that week where we are going to see people get moved after Thursday because we play Thursday against the Ravens. So as long as Bijan Robinson's playing for the Atlanta Falcons, as long as he's on the field, I think it's going to be a game for the team. I don't think they're going to have to pass that much. It's going to be unfortunate. It really is going to be super unfortunate. But let's get into it. I know YouTube is having some problems with live streams right now, so I got a notification on that before I went live that they're having some problems with live streams. So hopefully they fix that at some point. But let's talk about what the games are going to look like. And moving right on into Dolphins and the Falcons game. A lot of us are here because we like the Dolphins. The 1-6 Dolphins take on the 3-3 Falcons. And I think we all know where this one's going to go. We do. Falcons are going to win this game. Moving on to the Bears and Ravens game. Now, a few days ago, I was sitting there and I was talking to someone, and we were talking about, who's going to cover the spread, and the Bears were +6 or +6.5. And I saw somewhere on Twitter, I think it was Tuesday, it was or Wednesday, that someone had some inside information that Lamar wasn't going to be playing. So He took the Bears plus 6.5. Lamar gets ruled out. I know that Bears are still the underdog in this game. They have some injuries, but I do like the Bears, and I like the way that the Bears are playing. It'll be an interesting game. Moving on to the Bills and the Panthers. Now, 4-2 Bills take on the 4-3 Panthers, and the Panthers are without Bryce Young. And I saw a stat today that Josh Allen has never, maybe not never. Let me rephrase myself. He hasn't lost 3 back-to-back games. At least that's what I saw. And I don't think that the Bills lose today. I think they get the job done in Carolina, especially without their starting quarterback, Bryce Young. Give me the Bills in this game. Moving on to, I'm going to keep myself up here. Moving on to the Jets. So you guys can't really see what I'm talking about. Moving on to the Jets game. Jets at Bengals. Jets are just bad, and we all know the Jets are just bad. The Bengals looked good last week with Flacco. Give me the Bengals in this game, and the Bengals to cover. I think it went down to 6. The Jets are just, they're just bad. They're bad all around. 49ers, Texans. This is an interesting one. We saw the Texans look abysmal against the Seahawks. And even though, the 49ers have Mac Jones is playing good football, and you can never count out CMC. I like the 49ers in this game. They're underdogs as well, mainly, I would say, because they're in Houston. Houston's without top wide receiver. I don't know. This just looks like either it's going to be a trap game or it's going to be how a lot of people think it's going to go, and the 49ers are going to win this game. Moving to the Browns at the Patriots, we saw the Cleveland Browns beat the Miami Dolphins last week. I don't think they're getting it done against the Patriots. Patriots are all around a better team than the Miami Dolphins. Give me the Patriots by 10+. I think the Patriots defense is going to give Dylan Gabriel some nightmares. Moving to the Giants and the Eagles. Now, they faced off earlier in the year. The Giants got the best of the Eagles. And that was really Jackson Dart's coming out party. He showed Giants fans, he gave them hope. But the last few weeks, we've seen Jalen Hurts do what we expected Jalen Hurts to do, or we asked Jalen Hurts to do. And that's to throw the ball more. And we saw A.J. Brown, he was upset. I think that right now, we can all agree, the Eagles are a better football team than the Giants. Giants gave 33 points in the fourth quarter last week. The Eagles are going to get this one. They're at home. The offense for the Eagles is playing better. Me and my family are going to the Steelers-Packers game. Nice, man. That's going to be a great game. That's going to be a really, really, really good game. The Eagles are at home, and like I just said, their offense is playing better football. Give me the Eagles in this game, even though A.J. Brown is out. Moving down, Buccaneers Saints. Now, don't let the records get in the way. Buccaneers are favored by 3.5. But this is a rivalry game, and you can never, when you're looking at a rivalry game, these records don't matter because both of these teams don't like each other. They don't. I like the Buccaneers in this game. I know they're favored by 3.5. I like them at that 3.5 mark. Moving on to the Cowboys and the Broncos. This is going to be a high-scoring game. Both good offenses. It's going to come down to the defense. And the Broncos just have a really, really, really good defense. Give me the Broncos in this game. Now, Titans and the Colts, don't really have to talk too much about this. I was looking at some player props. Anytime touchdown scorers. And I saw that the majority of the Colts players were favored to score a touchdown, and Jonathan Taylor was minus 425 to score 1 touchdown and like minus 110 to score 2 touchdowns. That is insane. Moving on to the game tonight that Orchid's going to. Packers and the Steelers. Let's see. I got the Buccaneers 62-0. Yeah. No. I think the Bucs are winning that one. Packers and the Steelers tonight. Aaron Rodgers faces off against his old team, and it's going to be a good game, right? It's going to be a really, really, really good game. The Packers are favored in this game. They get Christian Watson back. So this one's kind of up in the air. But as I said in my picks video, Aaron Rodgers said, "Oh, it's not a revenge game for me. It's not this, it's not this, it's not that." I think it is going to be a revenge game for Mr. Rodgers. And give me the Steelers in that game. That's a fun one. Moving on to the last game of Week 8. Commanders going into KC. KC's playing great football right now. They're looking like the Kansas City Chiefs of the past. Give me the Chiefs in this one. Marcus Mariota, even though he has a good history against the Chiefs, give me the Chiefs in this game. But yes, that is the game. Now we are going to go through here, and I'm going to take you guys. If you guys don't follow me on X, come over here. Follow me on X. Post a lot. Here's my Mendoza. Look at him using his legs. Look at this.
Lines in America.
Look at Mendoza go.
Mendoza scampering, turns,
Look at him go.
Mendoza!
You guys have heard me talk a lot about Mendoza. But yeah, come over here. Follow me on X. But let's go through here. I thought this would be a good little section to these previews where we can go through people that are out, people that are active. So let's go through some of these inactives. Drake London, as I said, for the Falcons. Matt Milano for the Bills. Shedeur for the Browns. Of course, we all know that Kirk Cousins is starting for the Falcons today. Actives, David Njoku, DeAndre Swift, Tyler Algier. And Algier is going to have a game today, too, just like Bijan. Maxwell Hairston's out. Breece Hall is in. Breece Hall is playing. Mason Taylor's playing. Trey Hendrickson. Mason Taylor's playing good football. He's playing good football this year for the Jets. I wish that the Dolphins brought him home so he could play at his dad's alma mater. If you guys don't know, it's Jason Taylor's son. But like I said, Drake London is inactive. Here is what I said earlier. Heading into today's game at Carolina, the Bills have lost 2 straight, but Josh Allen has never had a 3-game losing streak in the NFL. Okay, so I wasn't talking crazy. Bills have also won an NFL best 10 straight games after their bye. Just like I said, I like the Bills in this game. But that is what we have for going over this. Now I'm going to keep this up on my second screen in case something pops up, in case someone gets ruled out, something that we don't know, right? Breaking news, but I mean, it is 12:20, so unless someone gets hurt in pregame, that is not going to happen. Let's go back and let's talk some football now. Let's talk some football. We're back here. We have week 8. So tell me your locks for today. Who do you guys like? Who is your team that you think is going to win? If you had to put your money on it, which I'm not encouraging gambling, and don't say the Colts because I think that's a given, but any given Sunday, anything can happen. Let me know who you guys like, and we'll talk about it. I got to respond to this work stuff. Patriots and Niners from Fins Up. Sorry, I had to enjoy my Celsius energy drink. But not any news regarding the Miami Dolphins right now. Also, we are at 53 subscribers. I just looked over here. So I appreciate all of you. It has been quite the month of doing this. I mean, it's been a ton of fun, and we've really leveled up in our things. That's why I said, when I started this, I would just record off my phone, but I have my PC, which I wonder if I could show you guys, maybe. Have my PC here, and I was like, I used to live stream on Twitch back in 2019, when I think everyone was live streaming Fortnite. And I was like, yeah, why not? So yeah, a few years ago, I was 14 at that time. Yeah, no, I feel like you guys don't like the Saints same way that we don't like the Bills. It's the exact same way. But, hold on, let me fix my mic. Okay, fixed it. Yeah, no, you guys don't like the Saints the same way that we don't like the Bills. And moving from there, hold on. I saw a graphic where it was like most unliked team in Florida was the Saints, but I never really thought Buccaneers fans really don't like the Saints. I feel like Miami just really doesn't like any of our division, whether it's the Jets or the Patriots or the Bills. Now, ever since I have been alive for 23 years, it's been mainly the Patriots and the Bills for me, because the Jets have just been that bad where it's just like, oh, it's the Jets, we're gonna beat the Jets. But going from Tom Brady in your division to then Josh Allen becoming Josh Allen, it has been very unfortunate as a Miami Dolphins fan. One day we're going to get our Tom Brady, or one day we're going to get our Josh Allen, or even our Drake May. And as you guys know, his name is going to be Fernando Mendoza. So I see that Fins Up 1972 says Patriots and Niners. Now, like I said, I do like the Niners a lot, even as underdogs. I don't know if I could pull anything up here to show you lines. Let's see if I can. Oh, look. See, that's what's nice about having, different scenes on here and a second screen. You have to pull this stuff up. CMC breakout? Yeah, I think CMC is going to have a good game. I do. Let's see here. Let's see here. 1 hour ago. Okay, so these ones. Now I would like something that just looks. Let's see. Okay. So here we can go through some of the. For me, it's been every team at one point, but it's mainly the Saints and the Falcons. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that the Falcons are going to lose today. They're playing probably the third worst team in the NFL. Even though I made a power rankings and I put the Dolphins at 31, but it went Jets, Titans, Dolphins for me. So here we go. Here are, quote unquote, the best bets for the NFL Week 8. Now, let me go over and switch over to my desktop because for whatever reason, hotkeys aren't working. But Eagles minus 7.5 against the Giants. Like I said, or like we were talking about, Eagles are going to win that game. I just think that their offense is flowing. Bears plus 2.5. Switch from 6.5 when Lamar got ruled out. And then Bills versus Panthers over 46. I do like that. Here it is. Here are your odds here. Oh, don't want to go over there. 10 pays 72. And here are their reasons why. But that is what we have for that. Now, if anyone has any questions, I have a link. I do. I don't know if it necessarily works or how it works, but I figured it out. I figured out how to go or how to get people on the live stream, but I think that that'll probably have to be at some point this week because I never I need to figure that out because I don't know if you guys would have to download Streamlabs to be able to get on, but it's definitely going to be something that I'll have to look into because I can do it. I can. I just wouldn't want to force you guys to download Streamlabs, even though it is free, but it'd be nice if it could just be, I guess you could do Zoom and talk about it like that. But let's look more into the Dolphins game since this is a Dolphins channel. And let's talk about the elephant in the room and how is Tua going to do today? You are going up against a top-rated defense, passing defense and rush defense in the NFL, and you're without Darren Waller. And like I said, we saw what the Browns did to Jalen Waddle. They just doubled him, given it was raining and it was, windy and all that. But the keys to the game, which I kind of mentioned, went over in the preview video, but we'll go a little more in depth. And one thing that I said was the Dolphins have to establish the run game. They have to start early and often. They have to get Von Achane involved. Because if you start running the ball, that RPO offense that they love to run will open up. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Even with Drake London out and Kirk Cousins in, I think that this game, right, you lose this game, and I'm not, talking bad on Kirk Cousins because, we know who Kirk Cousins is and what he can do. And we also know he probably has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because he got benched. But we also can see here that this could be the game that if the Dolphins lose without Drake London playing, without Penix playing, this could be where the wheels really, really, really fall off. And, last week you're playing a top defense and they have their starting quarterback, even though he's a rookie. This week, they're without their wide receiver one, and they're without their quarterback. If the Dolphins' defense doesn't get pressure on Kirk Cousins, then we're going to really see the problem with this team. Those bots are bad. Yeah, they are. We will see the problem with this team because our pass defense is not that bad. If you went over and looked at my preview video, you will see that the Dolphins really don't have a bad passing defense. They're not. Like Rasul Douglas, who I was talking about earlier, he is ranked, I could be wrong, it's either 8 or 11, the 8th or 11th best corner in the game, in the NFL. That's what PFF puts him at. He's playing really good football. So the Dolphins defense needs to get pressure on Kirk Cousins during passing downs because we know what they're going to do. We know that they're going to just try to feed the ball to Bijan Robinson because if we can see how bad the Dolphins defense is, the coaches who get paid to draw up game plans and scheme these plays, they're going to see it even better than we are or than we can. And they are going to kill us on the ground. So if the Dolphins can stop, not necessarily just stop the pass or get pressure on the quarterback, but if the Dolphins can set the edge better, and if you're in space against Bijan, you have to have luck on your side because, first off, the Dolphins can't tackle to save their lives. But if you're one-on-one with Bijan in space, you got to wrap him up and you got to bring him down. It can't be any of these arm tackles. It can't be any of this, just trying to go for the football. But that also leads me to the question, which, as Dolphins fans, we continue to question, is do we even want to win this game? And will I be happy if we win this game? Or will you be happy if we win this game? Because one win, if you win this game, you're just one step closer to losing a top draft pick in the 2026 NFL draft, because the Jets, it might come down to the Dolphins and the Jets week 12 for who gets the number one pick overall. And if the Dolphins win this game, that can really, really, really hurt us. So would you be happy if the Dolphins won this game? That is my question. Let me hear it. Fins Up says no. So I agree. As you guys have heard me say before, numerous times, I'm never going to root against this team. I'm always going to root for them, but I'm not going to be upset if we lose this game, because in 27 minutes, I am going to go downstairs, sit in front of the TV, get an adult beverage, and enjoy my time, right? Because that's the type of season that we're at. I have no hope for this team. And now if you're a kid, right, and you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, man, you're going to turn that game on. You're going to be cheering for your team, especially because you don't like the Saints. You're going to hope that, what'd you say? Let me go up in the chat here. What'd you say? 62-0? I got the Buccaneers 62-0. I don't think I could say that word on here. But yeah. So, but if you're a Dolphins fan and you're looking at this game and you're looking at the future, and I'm going to post a video this week because my videos this week got more traction than recent videos, and I think it's, has to do with some of these live streams as well, and shorts. But if you guys like watching the shorts, because I know Aura Kid likes watching the shorts. Also, I'm just going to keep rambling on here. I did start the podcast, so you can go on Spotify. I have to figure out how to get it on Apple. It's on Spotify right now, the Fins Den podcast on Spotify. All it is, I grab my videos, drag them on there, so you can listen to it with no ads. But I am going to do something different over there, because I like to keep my YouTube videos 6 to 12 minutes, because you guys have probably heard me say I have a very short attention span when I'm listening to certain things other than the Dolphins. Like, I'll watch 30, 40-minute videos of people covering the Dolphins just to learn some new stuff. But if you guys want longer videos, maybe you're, doing work or long car ride, I am going to start posting probably 30-minute long podcast episodes on there, going more in depth into certain topics that I might have already talked about or I will talk about. But if you like watching the shorts and you don't mind sitting there for 6, 7, 8 minutes, sorry, don't make a joke. Man, that joke it's just all over the place. You really can't escape it. You really can't. It's bad. And yeah, go check out the videos. Like I said, they're gaining a little bit more traction this week. All thanks to you guys, because I didn't expect it to turn out the way it's turning out now. I really didn't. We've been doing this, I don't even know how long. Do you guys know how long? I don't know. I have so many videos pre-recorded that are I just put on a timer and just send them out there. Let me look. Oh, Bills game. Yep. That was it. It was the Bills game. And yeah, no, it was the recap of the Bills game. But yeah, guys, moving on. We have 8 more minutes until we are going to wrap this up. Might go over just a hair because I started 2 minutes late. But let's look ahead and let's look at the game of the week, in my opinion, which is the Packers and the Steelers game. And that is going to be a fun game. Aaron Rodgers, as I've said many times to all of you, he came out and he said, no chip on the shoulder, and then the Packers were like, we're playing the Steelers who happen to have Aaron Rodgers, right? If this game, which I think it should have been played in Lambeau, if this game was played in Lambeau, this would be insane. But Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys, no matter what the age, and we've seen him playing really, really, really good football this year. Of course, there's some circumstances where you can see the age, but for the majority of the time and majority of these games, we see him playing at an elite level. Still got the arm talent, can still roll out of the pocket. 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers moves better out of the pocket than 26-year-old Tua does. But we're not talking about Tua right now. This game is going to be, as I said, right? You can go back. I forgot which video it was in. And we were talking about the Icy Hot Bowl. Or was it a live stream? I don't know. No, I don't think it was live stream. I think it was a video or a short. Not sure. I was like, this is going to be one of those games that, we talk about. Where it's going to be, we're watching these two, older quarterbacks who have had great careers and go head to head. And for the younger crowd who might not have been able to watch Prime Flacco on the Ravens, it was great. I'm 2-0 in the Dolphins franchise, or Jason Medusa is balling out. You're still doing that? Damn. Commitment on the Dolphins rebuild. But now we're looking at Aaron Rodgers playing his old team. And we all know, the type of guy that Aaron Rodgers is. The cave hideout or whatever, his darkness retreat. He's said some pretty interesting stuff, publicly. But you can't deny his talent, and you can't deny his will to win. And I think he's had this game circled. Since the season started, he's had this game circled. Because when you give your all to a team, and yes, given his age, but when they draft your replacement, right? Because they drafted Jordan Love back in 2020. Now, look back. When was the last time Aaron Rodgers won the MVP? Can anyone answer that? When was the last time Aaron Rodgers won the MVP? So they draft your replacement, and his time is up in Green Bay, and he goes to the Jets, and we all know what happened game 1 when he played for the Jets. He runs out with the American flag and then tears his Achilles, and he's done, comes back, and just doesn't really look like Aaron Rodgers. But now he has a fresh start. He has a good team around him. I don't think anyone can play well in New York when it comes to the Jets. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers in this game. I like them at home. My guy Medusa is a go. Already has 4 picks, 6s for my team. Well, we need that guy if we can find him in the draft. We need a guy like that. They're at home against his old team. He finally has a good team around him. And I think it's going to come down to, as you guys heard me say, it's going to come down to who can impact the game more. And on defense, on the defensive side of the ball, Micah Parsons or TJ Watt. And we haven't seen TJ Watt play like how we've seen TJ Watt play in the past. But when you're paying TJ Watt or you're paying Micah Parsons all this money, and if you're, trading away all these assets for Micah Parsons on the Packers side, this is the game, right? You have a chance to be the new guy, one of the big faces of the Packers organization now, to take down the old face of the Packers organization. And Aaron Rodgers can do the funniest thing and just go out there and, beat down on him. Now, the Packers are favored in this game. But like I said, I like the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. And Orchid, like you said, you're going to that game. So I hope that you have a good time at that game. I'll be watching the game tonight. And that is my game of the week. Now, if you guys have a game of the week, let me know. Which game are you guys most excited to watch? I'll pull up the list again. I'll read you the list again. Let's see. I'll read you guys a list again real quick, and then let me know. Dolphins, Falcons, no. Bears, Ravens, Bills, Panthers, Jets, Bengals, Niners, Texans, Pats, Browns, Giants, Eagles, Bucks, Saints, Cowboys, Broncos, Titans, Colts, Packers, Steelers, Chiefs, and Commanders. Let me know. I'm trying to look here if any more news came out. Nope, no more news came out. FinzUp says the Cowboys game. That is going to be a good game. That is going to be a really good game. I'm excited for that game. I'm excited for... Hopefully it's a high-scoring game. But like I said earlier, it's going to come down to us, the better defense. And that Broncos defense is just good. They didn't look great last week. Can't lie. They didn't look great. But when things needed to happen, when they needed to get things done, they got things done. And I just hope, right? I took the Broncos to win that game. I hope the Broncos win, but I hope CeeDee Lamb has a great game because Quentin Johnson put up a fat goose egg on my fantasy team Thursday Night Football. And I really, really, really need to win this week. I am one spot out of the fantasy football playoffs. I can't wait for the games. I'm going to 2 games today. Wow. Lucky you. Lucky you. That'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun. Which games are you going to? That'll be a lot of fun. Now, so I am excited to watch these games. I'm not necessarily excited to watch the Dolphins game because we all know what's going to happen there. But we're not going to get off just yet. But get ready. Be prepared for the Dolphins Falcons recap. I've already made the thumbnail for it. I made 2 thumbnails for it. One is if we win, one is if we lose, because usually me making the thumbnails takes a little bit longer. So like I'll usually like record the video and then process it, and then YouTube has like an AI bot, I guess, that looks through the video to make sure everything's good. So as it's doing its checks there when it's unlisted, I make the preview or the post game recap. But I've already made the thumbnails, and if the Dolphins lose, it's gonna be a pretty cool thumbnail. It's gonna be pretty interesting. It took a little bit to make, but so look out for that. That'll probably come out around 4:30, 4:45, just depending on what time the game's over. It'll probably be again a 6 to 10 minute video, and I'm excited. I'm excited to watch these games. I'm excited to come back on here and talk to you guys, and we're going to plan around see what other days we can go live this week, possibly Monday night, so possibly tomorrow night, maybe Thursday night, I don't know, but we are going to stick to the Sundays at 12. I like the Sundays at 12 mark, and I think that keeping it consistent allows people to pop in here, and like, you know, in the beginning of all of my videos, you'll hear me say that we're going to be going live Sunday at 12 p.m. But I appreciate you guys a lot for 50 subscribers. I will mention that today in my post-game recap. Orchid, I hope you have fun at the games that you're going to. We're currently in New Orleans to go to the Saints versus Buccaneers. Probably good. Go flights are going to leave early in the fourth quarter to get to Pittsburgh. Steelers versus Green Bay Packers. That's great, man. That's great. I hope you have fun. That's gonna be a really, really, really fun game. But I will see you guys later. Orchid, have a good time. Have a safe flight. And I'll see you guys for the recap today. Enjoy your day. And then I'll probably see you guys